Rule number 1 is never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. You have to remember that the stock market is effectively a manic depressive. If you are in the luckiest 1% of humanity, you owe it to the rest of humanity to think about the other 99%. Risk comes from not knowing what you are doing. If you aren't thinking about owning a stock for 10 years, don't even think about owning it for 10 minutes. Never ever invest in a business you cannot understand. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Should you find yourself in a chronically leaking boat, energy devoted to changing vessels is likely to be more productive than energy devoted to patching leaks. The key to investing is not assessing how much an industry is going to affect society or how much it will grow, but rather determining the competitive advantage of any given company and, above all, durability of that advantage. The most important thing to do if you find yourself in a hole is to stop digging. Successful investing takes time, discipline, and patience. No matter how great the talent or effort, some things just take time. You can't produce a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. You only have to be able to evaluate companies within your circle of competence. The size of that circle is not very important. Knowing its boundaries, however, is vital. The 3 most important words in investing are margin of safety. There seems to be some perverse human characteristic that likes to make easy things difficult. Price is what you pay, and value is what you get. Be aware the investment activity that produces applause. The great moves are usually greeted by yawns. For the investor, a too high purchase for the stock of an excellent company can undo the effects of a subsequent decade of favorable business developments. If a business does well, the stock eventually follows. All there is to investing is picking good stocks at good times and staying with them as long as they remain good companies. The business school rewards difficult, complex behavior more than simple behavior, but simple behavior is more effective. Buy a stock the way you would buy a house. Understand and like it such that you'd be content to own it in the absence of any market. If returns are going to be 7 or 8% and you're paying 1% for fees, that makes an enormous difference in how much money you're going to have in retirement. Speculation is most dangerous when it looks easiest. Time is the friend of the wonderful company, the enemy of the mediocre. The stock market is designed to transfer money from the active to the patient. Do not take yearly results too seriously. Instead, focus on 4 or 5 year averages. Opportunities come infrequently. When it rains gold, put the bucket out, not the thimble. In the business world, the rearview mirror is always clearer than the windshield. It's far better to buy a wonderful company at a fair price than a fair company at a wonderful price. We always live in an uncertain world. What is certain is that the United States will go forward over time. Only buy something that you'd be perfectly happy to hold if the market shut down for 10 years. It's a terrible mistake for investors with long-term horizons, among them pension funds, college endowments, and savings-minded individuals, to measure their investment risk by their portfolio's ratio of bonds to stocks. Our favorite holding period is forever. I won't say if my candidate doesn't win, and probably half the time they haven't. I'm going to take my ball and go home. Forecasts may tell you a great deal about the forecaster. They tell you nothing about the future. Diversification is protection against ignorance. It makes little sense if you know what you're doing. Calling someone who trades actively in the market an investor is like calling someone who repeatedly engages in one-night stands a romantic. An investor should act as though he had a lifetime decision card with just 20 punches on it. It is not necessary to do extraordinary things to get extraordinary results. Widespread fear is your friend as an investor because it serves up bargain purchases. Most people get interested in stocks when everyone else is. The time to get interested is when no one else is. You can't buy what is popular and do well. Why not invest your assets in the companies you really like? As Mae West said, too much of a good thing can be wonderful. Whether we're talking about socks or stocks, I like buying quality merchandise when it is marked down. The stock market is a no-call strike game. You don't have to swing at everything. You can wait for your pitch. The chains of habits are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Wide diversification is only required when investors do not understand what they are doing. You know you keep doing the same things and you keep getting the same results over and over again. The best thing that happens to us is when a great company gets into a temporary bubble. We want to buy them when they're on the operating table. Keep things simple and don't swing for the fences. When promised quick profits, respond with a quick no. The most important investment you can make is in yourself. In the world of business, the people who are most successful are those who are doing what they love. When trillions of dollars are managed by Wall Streeters charging high fees, it will usually be the managers who reap outsized profits, not the clients. Please subscribe for daily inspirational quotes.